Hello everyone. So this is the second part of the room database or the room persistent library on SQLite database. Okay, that's great. So in this video we'll see some more features of room database and what I have used in one of my projects. So I'm sharing that to you. We'll learn something new, some more annotation in this project. So I'm starting with the POSO or the entity file. So where is the POSO? And you can see right in here on our last video, we have seen only this annotation, the entity. Now I have added another two annotation right in there. The first, the entity, and right in here, I have declared the table name is equal to movies. So by default, uh, the table name is as the class name. Okay, so if the class name is movies, and it doesn't matter if it's not actually the case sensitive, so whatever the name you have given onto your class, the table name will be the same. So if you want to use some other name instead of your class name, then you can just go ahead and write something like okay, movies, OZ, something like whatever you say. Okay, and if it is if you want to have the same name to a table name, then you can just go ahead. Normally I like to write something like that. That really gives me some more reliability, but when I'm doing some fast work, I really go with this only entity that holds the default name as the class name. Okay, that's great. So and now this is another thing, the converter, the type converter. uh for now I will skip it. Okay, we will talk about this on the last part of this video. Okay, so now you can see on our last video we have seen the primary key, and the non-null is from Java language, so I don't think I need to talk about this. That only means that this value can be null. There must have some value in this field. Okay, that's great. And now, as well as the entity or the table name, you can also keep the column name. So if you want to add the column name something different from your field name, you can write something like that, movie ID. In case in here you have you can see that I was using capital character on I, so I have changed it into a small character, and by that my column name for this table will be changed into the movie ID. And on the next, this is as usual, and yeah, and there is a date. There is another operator I have used, and that is actually a date. So yeah, that's great. This is another field, and in case of date, one thing I have to tell you that by default SQLite sorry, by default the room persistent layer doesn't support date. So what we have to do, we have to use a type converter, and here the type converters comes in, the type converters, and then you can put any converter you want. In case of that, I am using the date type converter class. Okay, so this is a simple class with some type converter annotation that makes this class as a type converter. Okay, I hope you understand. So you don't have to write in here. You have to, if your class does have some method like that, you can declare this class as a type converter. So you can see on here I have two methods. The first one is toDate. That means the long value will turn into a date, and on the second I'm converting the date into a long. For storing into my SQLite database, I am actually converting the date into long value, and for restoring it back when I'm retrieving or when I'm manipulating the data or the fetching the data, I'm actually converting the long into to date. And the body is pretty simple thing. You can see right in here I have just used the return, and if the value is equal to null, then just return null. If the value is not null, then convert this value into a date. And the same thing is happening right in here. So if the value is equal to null, then just give the null. If that is not, then just convert that thing into a long time. So that's it. And yeah, that's great. So I am also telling this thing is this is nullable, so it can be null. Okay, so that's great. And right in here, as you have already seen, this ignore failed, that really ignores one constructor from the table model. Okay, and then the builder method, nothing else right in here, believe me. And then what we have done before, we had created the DOO access, that means data access object. Same thing I'm doing right in here. And in here, these are the method we have seen on our previous video for inserting single data, for inserting multiple data, for manipulating some data, and yeah. And here is another thing for deleting data with the query that I hadn't shown you before, so I added this thing right in here. Sorry, if you want to update this thing like that, so just go ahead and write update apps. You can see this will also work now. Yes, you can see. So that is really helpful, and then this the old thing you have seen before. And now as well, I will go for the movie database class, and I have called for the movie class, all the things like we have. And right in here you can see I'm using the version 3 because I have changed the whole table a couple of times. Actually, I have changed the table twice. That means I have changed the whole database, or I have changed the configuration, or the what's it called, the construction of the database twice. That's why I am now in the version 3. If I haven't changed that, this thing will not work, and this will tell you that you may forget to update the version. So that's great from the room persistent layer, and I have used the DAO access. That's great also. Now I'm going for the main activity. Here I have added some couple of things. The first thing, the database and the object, as we have seen before. And then right in here, we have added some text fields, some edit text, some backgrounds, and a lot of things, alright? So what I'll do, I'm gonna show you what I have added to our UI right now. So add connect message, oops, message at the 0, that's no. I hope my device is alive. No, it's dead. Is this comment alive? This one? Come on. Yes, it is connected. So now, I'll run this app. So I really recommend you to use Room as a persistent library over SQLite, because that really helps a lot. And you can really migrate from SQLite into Room, and everything right in here is pretty simple. And this will really helpful because if you are really looking for some enterprise job, then you have to learn something like that, something like room, because Java has also the same the Java framework like Spring also has the same thing. They tell these things as JPA. I hope that is Java Persistent Access. This is also a library that used for the native Java framework like Spring. So this is really helpful for a lot of cases. So I hope you will really be you will really agree with me to learn Room and working with Room, because uh, the whole load is really, and the caching things is really important right in Room persistent layer. And you can see in here the persistent layer has is really controlling the has the control of the database cache management, so you don't have to worry about the caching things, blah blah blah. Everything is really straightforward. Just try to use as I have shown you. So yeah, my app is running. So find my device. Can I really? Oh, is that dead? Oh yeah, that is alive. I hope it is dead. Hmm. Come on, come on. You can do it. Come on, you can do it. So you don't have to worry about within these two videos. I'll provide the GitHub link for this project. The whole project will be in your hand, and that is all for free. Come on, don't be so crazy. Come on. I know you can. Just do it. Oh, okay, I'll restart this thing. Yes, this time it will connect. Just caching, the whole problem of the caching things. That's why I was telling you use the Room, because that will handle the cache. So you can see right in here we can really add some data, like for example oh my god, the add for a movie name, I just Speed. I hope you have seen that movie. It's a very good movie. So by clicking that, and you can see that is added into our terminal. And you can even use the speed, that is also very good. And then you can clear the data also. So the data is clear. You can show now, nothing is showing, and then add. That's great. You can add speed 2 was the second part of this movie. So I have added the speed 2. So I hope you understand the whole thing, and I hope you enjoyed this app. Now I will discuss. So as we have seen, I had a terminal right in here. These are my terminal, and there's the edit text and the show button and the clear button. There I have the 4 UI things to play with, and they are all about right in here. Then I have really initialized them right in here, and then I have initialized the room database. Then the data create operation is not the permissible in the main thread of the app, so we are creating the select threads or the zombies thread that I have told you before. So in here you can see, by clicking on clear, what I'm trying to do, I'm creating this thread and clearing the, and then calling for, okay, sorry, yes, that is clear. Why I have been showing the updating terminal? Okay. So my mistake. The first thing I'm doing that I'm just clearing the whole movie. That means I'm clearing the database. Then, as I am controlling the whole thing, or as I'm controlling the whole UI thing by using the database. Okay, so whatever happens, I will really fetch it from database. Then I will show you to the UI tree. So that's why I was calling for fetch all the movies. Then when I get that, I'm retrieving this movies list. And this retrieve methods is really working great. In here, this thing by you can see it is a list of what that means it can work with pretty much every class. Yeah, it is retrieving, then populating, and then run on UI thread. And in here you can see I have created the object right in here. You can also create this object right outside. That would be better if you write it outside, but for showing multiple data I have really used that inside. That's really helps sometimes. Sorry for that. So this is all about clear. Then I'll show you for the field. That means what actually the edit text is doing right in here. By clicking on the edit text, okay, I'm really inserting a data. So that's what I'm doing in here. So I'm taking the date as now I need the date, and I'm getting the access. Sorry, I'm getting the number of data right I have in my database. If the number of data is equal to empty, then I'm having 0. Otherwise, I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Then I am really using this integer as my movie ID plus 1 by adding 1. That means if I don't have any number, that means I don't have any data, then I will get I is equal to 0. Then I'm adding 0 plus 1, that will make it into 1 or turn it into 1. Then I'm really just passing this thing as my movie ID for storing a new data. And then I'm giving the movie name by using the edit text. You can see. And the last, I'm adding the date. So this we have seen on the last part of my app. Okay, so this is 5. So today is 5/7, something like that. So it is showing that 5. And after creating the object, I'm really inserting the object right in here. So movie database we will insert data. And for after that, as we want to show that data live, so whenever I select whenever I update or I really add a data, I want to show that on the terminal instantly, not by manually. That's why I have just added this thing right in here. Yeah, I can do it by using the show button right in here that I had used also, but then I thought, okay, it's really boring. I have to use the show button every time I add a data, so that's really make no sense. That's why I have just changed the whole logic into like this. So I hope you understand, and you should be. Then for the show button, I'm really just the same 2 line. I'm just adding this line. That's great. So this is all about the whole thing. And for getting the list data, I'm really using a for each loop and then having the data one by one, blah 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 blah. That's all for room database. So I hope you understand and you'll really like the persistent library. And this is really important, as I have already told you, that is really using for pretty much every framework. Pretty much every framework nowadays is using the JPA data dependency injection, some sort of pattern like MVC, MVP. And if you are really are keen to learn the dependency injection and the patterns, I can really help you on my next videos. So till then, goodbye. See you then. Please stop button.